Good morning. Chapter 5, Lesson 11 is on page 251. And we're still going to try to build some fluency in multiplying polynomials. We have those rules we developed from Chapter 5, Lesson 10. Number 1, let's grab a pencil. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. If we have a plus b times a minus b, we have, let's fix our formula, a squared minus b squared. If we have a plus b and we square that, we have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And if we have the difference, a minus b, that whole quantity squared, it looks just like number 2, except we substitute a minus 2ab in that middle term. If you FOIL these things, you see that these formulas come out. Just kind of handy things to have. Let's start off with number 23. It looks like a big, complicated polynomial multiplied by a binomial. Let's make sure we got all the right terms here. We could FOIL. We could do our wacky arrows. We could do this. 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 We could do that. And then we could even do these and those. Nice pretty picture. But sometimes it's going to be easier just to use the box. And that's what I'm going to do for this problem. Let me see if I can get rid of these lines because they are just confusing to me. So here we go. Let's give this a shot. So we're going to fill out this rectangle, x cubed plus x squared minus x minus 3. We're going to put an xy and a minus 3y. And all we're doing is we're going to find the area of this huge rectangle built up of 8 smaller rectangles. So let's begin. We're going to do xy times x cubed. I believe that's x to the 4th times y. Xy times x squared is x cubed y. We have xy times a minus x is minus x squared y. And xy times a minus 3 is minus 3xy. Let's do the second row. Minus 3y times x cubed is minus 3x cubed y. Minus 3y times x squared is minus 3x squared y. We have minus 3y times a minus x is a plus 3xy. And we have finally minus 3y times a minus 3 becomes a plus 9y. So we've added up all of the terms. We've multiplied, each of these rectangular sides. Xy times x cubed, xy times x squared, xy times minus x, xy times minus 3, minus 3y times x cubed, minus 3y times x squared, minus 3y times minus x, and minus 3y times a minus 3. All we have to do now is add up all the rectangles. So let's hope we didn't make any mistakes here. And the beauty of using this box is sometimes the diagonal terms you will be able to see things that either add up or subtract. So the first thing we're going to have is x to the 4th y. I've got an x cubed y and a minus 3x cubed y, so I think that gives me a minus 2x cubed y. Minus x squared y and a minus 3x squared y is minus 4x squared y. Hey, these two cancel out, minus 3xy and 3xy, so one's positive, one's negative, so that gives me a 0. And I finally tack on the last rectangle, the sum of 9y. Let me just check my answer against the answer in the back of the book. Looks like I did it okay. Number 23. Again, with these larger polynomials, sometimes it's easier just to use the box. Number 45. 3/4 x plus 1, 3/4 x plus 2. Let me fix my formula again. There we go. Looks like none of these three fit. Number 1, number 2, or number 3 won't fit because you notice this second term in each one is different. It's not the same. So we're stuck with FOIL. We're stuck with using the box. So I'll do it both ways. See what we can come up with. First, outside, inside, last. So let's give that a shot. So 3/4 times 3/4 I think is 9/16. 3/4 times 2 is, excuse me, oops, x squared. Let's try this again. Let's not make any mistakes. So 3/4 x times 3/4 x is 9/16 x squared. 3/4 x times 2 is 6/4 x. 1 times 3/4 x is 3/4 x. And 1 times 2 is 2. Let's make sure we did that right. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. X times x is x squared. Outside terms, 6x divided by 4. Inside terms, 3x divided by 4. And outside terms is 2. If we combine like terms, we end up with 9/16 x squared plus 9/4 of an x plus 2. So I think there's our answer. Oops, kind of wiped out the 16 there. Let's try it with the box. 3/4 of an x plus 1. 3/4 of an x plus 2. Let's find the area of each of these smaller rectangles. We end up with 9/16 x squared plus 3/4 of an x plus 6/4 of an x. 3 over 4 times 2 over 1 gives me 6/4. We can reduce, but that's fine that way. And 2 times 1 is plus 2. So if we add up everything inside, we end up with 9/16 x squared plus 3/4 and 6/4 is 9/4 of an x plus 2. Again, we end up with the same answer. We just use the box, and sometimes it's easier to do it that way. Thanks so much. We'll see you all tomorrow.